Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is Ryan, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So, I have to apologize for the lack of content on the channel for the past 2 weeks. Now make no mistake, during this whole time I have been working on videos behind the scenes, namely a massive Subverse deep dive video, which will be ready when it's ready. And sure, while I could say that family and work have been keeping me busy and away from creating content, which is partially true, but if I'm going to be transparent with all of you, be totally honest, the real reason there's been a lack of content on the channel as of late is because I've been non-stop playing Remnant 2 every chance I get. Now, I always had faith that the game was going to be good. I had faith in the developer Gunfire Games that they were going to put out a quality product. But I never could have anticipated Remnant 2 would exceed my wildest expectations. This is easily my Game of the Year 2023, and this is legitimately a contender for Game of the Year 2023. In terms of quality, it is right up there with Resident Evil 4 Remake, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Final Fantasy 16. Legitimately. Remnant 2, at the very least, deserves a nomination. Now, I'm biased. Of course I'm biased. I love the first Remnant. And Remnant 2 was easily my most anticipated video game of this year. But putting my biases aside and analyzing the game objectively, sure, in the PC performance department, it leaves a fair bit to be desired. There's a reason there's a decent chunk of negative reviews on Steam. The vast majority of those negative reviews are concerning PC performance. The game could certainly do with further optimization. So on the technical side of things, Remnant 2 could use some fine-tuning. Absolutely. But when you actually examine the game's gameplay, features, content, mechanics, replayability, player customization, and the music, oh my god, the music, the soundtrack to Remnant 2, holy crap, one of the best video game soundtracks of all time, full stop. I had faith that I was going to like Remnant 2. I had faith that Remnant 2 was going to be a good game. But I never could have expected the game to be this exceptional. It is an enhancement, an improvement, an upgrade from the first Remnant in almost every way. And I cannot lie, I'm sort of addicted to it. It's got its hooks into me. It's why there's been a lack of content as of late, because I've just been playing Remnant 2 whenever I have the free time for it. If you include the Ultimate Edition Early Access, the game's only been out for just over a week, and I already have a stupid amount of hours into the game, and I'm nowhere close to having experienced everything the game has to offer in terms of content and discovering secrets and unlocking new weapons and armor and trinkets. There's so much more to do. There's so much more to discover. There's so much more to play. And the game is so consumer friendly and so player focused that it puts so many popular mainstream video games, especially AAA titles, to shame. There's no microtransactions. There's no battle passes. There's no need to be always online. There's no bullshit. There's a very damn good reason you're seeing so many content creators online jumping onto Remnant 2 and giving it high praise and their recommendation.
I'm genuinely impressed. I mean, I can see why IGN gave this a 9. I can see why people who are looking for something to scratch that itch would find it in Remnant 2. I gotta say, well done, guys. This seems to be a solid sequel and a very compelling game.
Remnant 2 is not only my game of the year, it is one of the best games I've played in the last decade. I am absolutely in love with this, I cannot stop playing it, and I wanted to share this highlight video with you. If you're interested in loot, amazing bosses, these are some of the best bosses I have fought in gaming. I'm talking better than some Destiny raid bosses, better than Dark Souls bosses in some cases. I am super impressed with this game, and I would recommend it to anyone watching this video.
But like, yeah, I absolutely think this is a great game. Like, I would completely recommend this game. Absolutely, you should buy this game. It's not even a question. Yeah, it's not even a question.
For the final summary, here it is. Remnant 2 has a passable story, incredible combat, satisfying loot, fantastic customization, good level design, and more content than you would ever guess on the surface, given the price tag and first run experience. It's worth buying, categorically worth buying. It's worth playing, for sure, and it's damn close to a 10 out of 10. I don't really give 10 out of 10, but like the past couple of games I've played, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, a 9.5 because I said I don't give 10s. Like the game is just doing so many things right. You can feel the passion, you can feel the care. It's really solid. I mean, it builds on the foundation. This is going to become a very, very famous franchise.
The shooting mechanics feel fantastic. The dialogue in this game and the music has been wonderful. And the small snips here and there, even just side missions. I literally sat in a house with a bunch of little orphan kids and some woman in front of me while she's sitting there making a quilt. And they're all sitting there just talking. The dialogue was mesmerizing. It blows my mind that this game is only $50 when it is easily worth full price, if not more.
If you like this style of game, third-person shooters, Souls-likes, loot-based RPGs, games that you can play in offline single-player or in online co-op with your friends, then you have to pick up and play Remnant 2. It is worth every penny of its purchase price. Myself, personally, I can't recommend this game enough. I'm borderline addicted, honestly. I want to do everything, explore everything, collect everything. While voice recording for this video about Remnant 2, I want to be playing Remnant 2 right now. It's that bad. I haven't had a video game grip me, get its hooks so deeply into me since, well, would you look at that, Remnant 1. Once again, I must deeply thank developer Gunfire Games for creating yet another one of my favorite video games of all time, and an experience that I will deeply cherish for the rest of my life. I'm in nirvana playing this game. This past week, I've legitimately lost time playing Remnant 2. I ended up playing the game much longer than I ever intended to when I had to be doing other things, like making videos for YouTube and playing other games. I intend to do a much deeper, more comprehensive review type video on Remnant 2 sometime in the near future. In the meantime, however, for this video, I'll say my initial impressions after playing the game for almost 100 hours. God, that's kind of embarrassing. As someone who really loved the story and lore found in Remnant from the Ashes and its prequel game, Chronos Before the Ashes, I was absolutely delighted by all of the new story and lore, returning characters, the shocking answers and revelations to questions that have persisted within the Remnant universe for years now. As one of the few people who play Remnant and actually cares about the story of this franchise, I was very much satisfied. Oh, and that ending. Oh, that ending. The possibilities it opens up. I cannot wait for the DLC and the direction they're going to take the story in. When it comes to the graphics, visuals, and art style of Remnant 2, my god, Gunfire Games went all out in utilizing the full power of Unreal Engine 5. The environments of Yesha, Lawsome, and Neyrud are a sight to behold. The improvements to lighting and extra environmental details in comparison to Remnant 1 is very much noticeable and an absolutely gorgeous sight to behold. What's also very much noticeable are the obvious improvements to animation and just overall quality of said animations. There's actual proper lip sync and motion capture. Going from Remnant 1 to Remnant 2, it's impossible not to notice the overall upgrades and improvements and enhancements to visual quality. There's also just so many more creative and diverse spectacles and set pieces in Remnant 2 in comparison to Remnant 1, and they're all a sight to behold. Now, in terms of gameplay, with Remnant 1, I would argue like Remnant had already kind of perfect gameplay. Nothing really needed to be changed, so Gunfire didn't. They just added more on top of it with the introduction of archetypes, essentially classes, bringing with them unique abilities, bonuses, and statistics that help you customize and define your personal playstyle. With Remnant 1, most of the fun and really meaningful customization came from your weapons and your weapon mods. But now with the introduction of archetypes, there is so much more available in terms of customization and really tailoring the gameplay to your personal preferences. You really want to focus on the weapons and gunplay found in Remnant 2? Well, pick the gunslinger archetype. You want to focus more on melee combat? Pick the Challenger archetype. You want to play the game in multiplayer co-op and play a more team-supportive role, then pick the Medic or the Handler archetype. Maybe picking only one archetype, focusing on only one playstyle, feels too limiting to you. That's alright, you can multi-class, combine two different archetypes together and get the benefits of both, and help you customize and define your own unique playstyle. Now Remnant 2 is still a third-person shooter, where you have to dodge roll and manage your stamina like a Souls-like game. You still have a massive arsenal of weapons to pick from that are all satisfying to fire and kill things with, alongside of course weapon mods which allow you to customize your weapons and basically give them superpowers that you can use on the fly. All that good stuff from Remnant 1 returns in Remnant 2, but it's so much smoother, more polished, more crisp, more refined. It just feels good to play, and now there are so many more options in how you go about playing it. Now, one of my favorite pieces of content from Remnant 1 were the boss battles, particularly the world bosses. I was honestly pretty meh on the dungeon bosses from Remnant 1, didn't love them, but I didn't hate them. In Remnant 2, however, almost every single boss battle, world boss and dungeon bosses included, are all fantastic. These are some brilliantly designed fights. Major upgrades in terms of boss design and mechanics and visual spectacle when compared to the bosses found in Remnant 1. These are legitimately some of the greatest boss battles of all time in video game history, whether fighting them in single player or in free player co-op. I've been truly blown away by the boss battles found in Remnant 2, a massive upgrade from the first Remnant. If you love boss battles in video games, in particular those found in the From Software games, you need to try out Remnant 2. I think you will very much be impressed and enjoy the boss battles available in this game. The final boss in particular, holy shit, no spoilers in this video, but the final boss in Remnant 2 has easily become one of my favorite boss battles of all time. Holy goddamn shit, the final boss in Remnant 2 is fucking wild. Oh, and one of the elements that makes the boss battle so good, and well, just enhances the experience of the game as a whole overall, we have the music, the soundtrack, and Remnant 2 legitimately has one of the best video game soundtracks of all time, period. Legitimately. It's right up there with like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, the Dark Souls games. The music in Remnant 2, especially the boss themes. Holy shit, it's so good. It's so good. Just listen to some of this. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, man. So, yeah, I love Remnant 2. I really, truly love Remnant 2. My game of the year, 2023. I'm going to do my damnedest to pull myself away from the game so I can work on more content for the YouTube channel. But oh my. Oh my, oh my. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and share the video on social media, Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, please consider making a donation via the Super Thanks feature here on YouTube, or by clicking on the links to my Ko-Fi or Buy Me a Coffee pages in the description down below. Anyways, once again, that's been a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Now, back to playing Remnant 2. Apocalypse difficulty, here I come.